Hi. It's certainly been something. Uh, that's how I would put this. It's definitely been unique, to say the least. Um, I don't know really what I would say to this. You know, it's strange. I don't really like the way everything's been going so far. It kind of sucks. Strange. I'm not gonna, I'm not gonna lie to you. I don't even know how we do it. It's horrible. It really is. You ever do something so much towards like a repeated cycle, like just constant motion. You never really get a chance to like stop and breathe, and it's not getting any easier either. Um, you constantly have to be in this state of go, 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 go. And when you do want like a moment to breathe, it's like the world punishes you for it, which sucks because it happens constantly between hundreds of people. Really, I would presume that it's not just me. That every break you attempt to get, the world takes its sweet time to bully the shit out of you. And I have no idea if this is real or if it's just me in my head, but I do believe it is a thing. I would think it's a thing. I don't know. I really don't. Especially just by existing, just breathing, oxygen and exhaling carbon dioxide. Um, you'll be having a good time, right? You'll be having a great time. You'll be having a fabulous time, and then all of a sudden, just as you're living and having a good time, it just kind of like gone, and everything all of a sudden just feels like shit, and you're just like existing. And while everyone around you seems to be having fun, and you're supposed to be having fun because you're with them, you don't feel like you're there at all. You feel like crap. And everyone that's there doesn't notice it. They don't notice the change, the subtle shift in your behavior that you make when that happens. They don't see it at all. In fact, if they do see it, they ignore it. Probably because it reminds them of themselves, but I digress. I mean, I'm really just sitting here, not doing much. Uh, I was thinking about playing games, and now I was like, no, I don't have the motivation to do anything really. Nothing at all. It's all gone. All the motivation to do absolutely anything is just gone. Poof. Just like that. Why? I don't even know. I couldn't tell you. It's just gone. Gone like a ghost. Strange, really. Really strange. I wish I even had the answer to explain as to why, but I don't. I couldn't tell you, even if I wanted to. I really couldn't. I would love to, but I can't. Just how the cookie crumbles. Really? Yeah. And now here I am doing a YouTube live with no one watching, no one existing, as I just rant to myself to let this stream just die in the YouTube archives because no one's gonna look at this. Why would anyone look at this? I made a thumbnail in like 5 minutes because didn't know what I was gonna do. I didn't want to like just take the video and be like, yeah, I'm gonna slap my face on there and make that the thumbnail. I didn't think that was fitting considering the topic, so I just made one. and saved it as a PNG and threw it onto the fucking thing. Because why not? I hope people look at it and go, what the hell is he talking about? And click on the video so they know that there's just some kid or guy yapping at a camera. I don't know. I'm just here, man. I'm just here. Trying to live like everybody else. Trying to make it ahead in the race that we're all living in. It's not even a race, really. It's more like a cooperative, like, I was going to say shooter. Definitely not a cooperative shooter. But it's like a cooperative. It's like a game of D&D. But instead of being, like, able to... No, yeah. It is exactly like a game of D&D. You're able to do whatever the hell you want. Doesn't mean there won't be consequences, but you can do pretty much whatever the hell you want. I'm just saying. Um, but yeah, thinking about it like that is a little eye-opening, because you'll notice that people do things because it's expected of them, or that they'll do them because they want attention or affection, depending on whatever one they're really looking for. Both of them fits, because they'll do stupid stuff to receive the both of them. It's really strange how people operate. It's really weird. If you really look into it, especially like some of Rap's videos, or maybe some other big YouTubers that talk about their personal experiences, when they do and they describe these situations that they find themselves in Rap's example, there was a video that he posted before, and it was talking about that time he went to a party with his friends, and quote unquote yellow shoes girl was making horrible comments indirectly to him, flattening his self-esteem, which is funny, by the way. I'm gonna tell you, that's hilarious. Um, it's hilarious because it happens so often, not because it's, oh, Rap's getting burned by another human being that's doing horrible things to him. No. That's not why it's funny. To me, I find it funny because everyone does that for different reasons, but everybody does that. And what's even more funny is that what I find normal is subjective or relative, one of those two terms. I forgot which one I keep being told, but it's one of those two terms. Yeah, I think it's relative. I think that's what I'm trying to what the word I'm thinking of is. And the reason I say that is because my sense of normal is not your sense of normal, and your sense of normal is not my sense of normal. Therefore, um, that might be a normal response for her, because no one's ever told her to shut her fat goddamn mouth, but I don't know. I don't know. And I love being like a small YouTuber with only 100 subscribers, because I can say like on stream, fuck you, and I'm not gonna get yelled at for it. No one's gonna stop me. And even if I do make it big, I'm still gonna just curse in the middle of a video, make some dumb comments, talk shit about somebody because I can, and the internet won't do anything about it because it's not illegal, and I can kind of do whatever the fuck I want as long as it's not a crime. So yeah, I'm gonna do just that, and I'm gonna exercise my First Amendment rights as a U.S. citizen, bitch. I'm such an asshole. I can be, at least. I can't be a real asshole. Yeah, I mean, I'm sure it's been rough for all of you, every single one of you. Whoever watches this video, I'm sure you're probably in at some point in your life had to suffer through something you'd rather not admit that you were doing, or something you just didn't like, or you just went through like this wave of depression. I don't know. You probably did at some point. Just saying. And knowing that you did, and that you're still like around, that's crazy. That's crazy. You should be proud of yourself. You've done a lot if you're still around after going through something like that, and I'm not gonna hold you. You should be proud of yourself. Really, absolutely. There's no reason for you not to be, if you ever go through stuff like this. It's astonishing how many, like, how little, I should say, how little people talk about, because there's so many people talking about mental health, right? It's absolutely everywhere. Like, it's everywhere. All right, you can't go anywhere without seeing it. But what's funny is that no one tells people how to fix it, right? They keep telling them, go to therapy, do this, do that, do this, and a whole list of things, right? But that's only like telling them, hey, you should go do this or you should go do that. What, at what point are you gonna like sit down with the person and tell them that that's not for everybody, or that's not the case, or blah 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 blah. They don't ever take the time themselves, by the way, to look into like basically gain personal experience in like the mind, right? They don't take time to study it. They don't take time to piece together, to philosophize anything. They just tell them to go do stuff that they get told by everyone else that will help. I don't know if it does. I'm not going to say it doesn't, because I know it does, because there's people that come out and say it does. Um, so I'm assuming it does, but it doesn't work for everybody, obviously, because we're not math equations. That's funny that people have to say that, but humans are not math equations. You cannot put 2 plus human and get 4. You know what I mean? You get 2 plus human and you might get 3. You might get 6. You might get 24. You might get 1,572. I don't know. We're not math equations. And why I say that is because you can't just take one solution and put it on every human, because that won't work. Just like how you can't take one medication and give it to every person because they might be allergic to it. That's why we have alternatives. What's even worse is when those alternatives and the actual medicine doesn't work. Because then, guess what that person is? That person is shit out of luck. They're fucked. They're doomed. And that's when it's up to us as people to be humans and help them. But no, we're not going to do that, because human nature is inherently selfish. And I don't care if you say, no, that's not true, prove me wrong. You have to teach someone to be kind. We are inherently assholes to each other. And if you don't think I'm right, look at a child. A baby already... No. Take that back. Scrap that example. That example sucks. Take yourself as a kid, right? You did something wrong, right? That you knew was wrong because your parents told you it was wrong, right? So you did something wrong, and you knew it was wrong because your parents told you it was wrong. When you were younger, did you immediately confess that you did something wrong, or did you lie? And when you lied, did the lie come out like that, or was it a build-up, or did it just instantly come like that? Because I can tell you from my experience as a kid, guess what I did? I never thought of confessing immediately. I fucking lied. And I buried myself in lies. Constantly. Why? Well, because you have to be taught how to be honest. How to be guilty. How to feel, ashamed. You have to be taught those things. Because if you don't, you won't feel it at all. That's why your parents have to tell you what's right and what's wrong. So you develop those things in your head. You develop a sense of morality. You develop a sense of guilt. You develop a sense of admiration, of pride, of all those other feelings. You can develop them as you get older because your parents set the groundwork of what they're supposed to look like. And then after you grow up and you've become more mentally mature, you can modify the groundwork that you were given because someone explained it to you, someone taught it to you. Not literally, but through their actions and whatnot. You get the point. Someone explained it to you. And then you take that and build your house out of it. Your house is your own interpretation of those rules in the way that you want them to be seen. How you think they should be run. How you think they should look. How you think you should teach them. That's what you do. That's why being human is fucking amazing, because we can take whatever the hell we want and do whatever the hell we want with it. It's called free will. It's phenomenal. Everyone has it. Not many people should use it because, like I said, humans are inherently bad. So, when that happens, right, if someone is determined enough to not do good and instead do evil, several people that are world leaders, I won't specify who, you can choose whoever you want out of that list, but I'm not going to go anywhere deeper than that. They'll do evil. Why? Because they want to, and they have a free will, so they're going to. Then it's your job, as good humans, to put an end to them. When I say put an end to them, I don't mean actually kill them. Just an FYI, I'm not telling you to kill them. That's a bad idea, because then that will make you no better than them. Just saying. That's why we have justice systems. And if they function properly, they would put those people in jail without hesitation. But then there's corruption, and that's a whole nother can of worms that I'm not going to open. Oh. Well, that's funny. How about I just turn it all the way up? Can you hear me now? It's not like I wanted to be screaming into my microphone, but I guess I will. Oh well. I completely forgot who that person even is, but I do remember you in some way, shape, or form, so congrats. Welcome here. While I just sit here and rant about whatever the hell I was ranting about a few minutes ago. I don't know. I'm just existing. You know. Yeah. Very true. Very true. Anyway, where was I? I was talking about human nature and then political leaders and then making sure our justice system functions. Something like that. Something like that. I completely forgot what it was. Barry. You mean Barry? Yeah. See, I told you didn't want me screaming into my microphone. That's why I was like, fine, you want it to be loud? I'll just crank the thing up to the maximum. No, I'm sorry, I'm messing with you. I'm joking. Although I... What do you mean by that? Oh, the kids and crap part? Oh, yeah. That's so true, though. You can't even tell me it's not, because, like, just you can watch it from other people, too. You can watch them, how they're, like, bringing up their kids and how it affects them. A good example would be my youngest sibling. There's a girl in one of her classes, right, that her family completely abandoned her, so she got stuck in, like, an orphanage and got taken in by a different family. And I have a feeling that because that happened to her, this girl that I don't actually know, keep in mind, is like attention crazed in a sense that this little girl does all these things that are absolutely evil, may I remind you. And I say evil in a sense of my sense of evil, not actual sense. Okay, hello camera, you want to operate, or you? There it goes. In a sense that it's affecting others in a negative way. That's what evil is, because let's be real, the whole world is just in different shades of gray. And if you think it's if you think it's good versus evil, then you're a little dumb and ignorant. Well, I wouldn't say dumb. Ignorant would be a good word, because there's no such thing as good and bad. Everyone is a mixture of both. Therefore, you are the color gray. But that's not the point. Sorry, I digress. Anyway, so this little girl does a bunch of things that affects people in a negative way to get attention from them, and then proceeds to ask my sister, why does everybody hate me? And the funny thing about that is that they're doing these things because they are afraid of being left alone again, as we've already stated. But they don't have the ability to process the fact that doing that to get that attention is negative attention, and that everyone hates them for it, which is sad. And it's sad because there's no one sitting there telling them that that's not good, so they think it's good, right? Which it's just sad. That's horribly sad, because that means that kid's screwed. Just saying, the kid's fucked. If no one course corrects them, they're doomed. They're gonna grow up, and that's how they're gonna act in the outside world, and everyone's gonna hate them in general because they've never been told otherwise. Which is why also parenting is a major issue, because if you parent incorrectly, your kids are fucked. Which sucks, because no one can tell you what the proper way is of parenting, and like I said, every human is different. So because every human is different, that means it's incredibly difficult to parent multiple kids at once, because every kid is different. Therefore, you have to parent them all differently, because if you don't, and you try and parent them like it's a math equation, you're going to fuck them over, and you're going to fuck yourself over, because they're going to hate you for being an idiot, basically, in their eyes. That's what they're going to think, at least if they're smart. If they're not smart, then maybe they'll just shake their head yes, and it'll be a really weird family dynamic where you just go, all right, guys, we're going to go to Dairy Queen, and everyone's like, yay, and no one wants to go. I hate Dairy Queen, even though one of them might hate Dairy Queen. I don't know. I don't even know why I said Dairy Queen. Dairy Queen is the example. It's just like, yeah, I'm gonna do that one. That one's good. Smart. If If they're not smart, then maybe they'll just shake their head yes, and it'll be a really weird family dynamic where you just go, "All right, guys, we're gonna go to dairy." Oh, now you're gonna hear that in the background. Since I pulled up my own stream, and I was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna go take a look at it." Yeah, I took a look at it. All right. We need strict parenting. Oh, they'll be better. Yeah. So okay. Now I'm gonna go on a different rant, and the different rant is about how bad parents lead to good parents. And you're probably thinking, the fuck does that mean? Hear me out. Hear me out. So, if a parent parents their child badly, right? But the kid is like, smart enough to form their own decisions and do this and that because they're forced to mature quicker because their parent sucks ass. That kid, theoretically, in this situation, should be able to take what was good that their parent did and replicate it, and take what was bad and throw it in the garbage and replace it with something different for their kid. So good parenting leads to good parents in of itself, because these kids grow up to actually be educated and know how to be a good parent. But bad parents also lead to good parents. If in this situation that the kid that is having the bad parent is smart enough to put two and two together. They might not be, which is most of the case, because smart kids come from smart parents, not the ones that hand them an iPad at the age of 3 and tell them to go have fun. So that's where my bad parents lead to good parents thing kind of just crumbles, because it solely relies on the fact that the kid is born naturally intelligent enough to put two and two together and go, man, my parents are fucking retarded. Which most kids probably won't, because their parents are going to make sure that they're like little, for lack of a better word, dumb munchkins. I would have just said, retards, but I don't care. Anyway, so, yeah. In other words, my whole theory is poof, useless for the most part. But where was I going with that? Oh, yeah, the bad parents lead to bad parents all over again. Nice. Which means every Gen Alpha kid that's getting an iPad right now that doesn't know how to do 2 plus 2 or read a damn book, yeah, we're fucked. World's fucked. We're screwed. We are so screwed. Ladies and gentlemen, the end of the human race starts now. Oh my god. Oh, we're so doomed. Oh, we're so doomed. The only thing that I can hope for is that there are other people that think the same way that I do, which I know is true. If you scour the internet long enough, you'll find them that are like, hey, yeah, this is dumb. Why are we doing this? And everyone's like, I don't fucking know. It's because this dude that's like 30 years older than us and is like a fucking fossil is like, hey, guys, you'll just do this. You'll be fine. And we're all just like, okay. And? Ooh. It's a weird cycle, really. And the best thing that we can do for it is to simply just ride the roller coaster until we're able to be the people that make the decisions, which is going to take a long time. So set your watches to several years in the future and hope that they all die quickly. That doesn't mean threaten them, just an FYI. It means wish them a happy, long life, so they die of old age in their sleep in a very peaceful manner. So that way we can peacefully push through our ideas and clean up the mess that they left behind. So while they're still here, you can just give them a good and a fake smile, and wait until they're at their deathbed and go, "You've done a great job. I'll make sure that I do better," and then move along. Because you don't want to be dicks, because they're trying their best. All right, it's not their fault that they suck. Okay, they're doing what they think is right, which leads us right back around to the point to where I said being good and evil is relative to the person you're speaking to. So like I said, to them they're doing right. Keep that in mind. We may think, wow, they're retarded. Well, to them, they think they're the smartest person on the planet. Why else would they be the one telling us what to do? Which really sucks, because when you think about it that way, and you try and realize that if you can get everyone on the same page, that we're all just trying to put this shit together like it's a puzzle piece, so that way we can all live in a good manner, it makes you realize that we're literally just this close to being able to form like a united Earth where we all just do one thing to make sure that everyone just lives and doesn't die. This close, by the way. This close. This close. You want to know how the gap actually is, though? Because although we're this close, you know how easy it is for it to go one person. If we're this close to becoming united, we're one person away from also exploding. Because if we're this close to being united and we finally close the gap and the whole world's on the same page and everyone's operating for the good of each other and the good of humanity, all it takes is one person to go, no, I'm going to be a little selfish, and the whole system goes boom, right in your face. Which sucks ass. Being told, yeah, you're this close from like having the world's coolest civilization ever where everyone works for the betterment of everybody and we don't, we're not selfish or anything like that, and we actually all try to help each other live. We're this close from doing that. We're also one person away from having that explode. It's a weird paradox, isn't it? This close, one person away. I don't know. It's really strange how it all kind of fits together. It's like, yeah, humans have the ability to help each other in a way that Biden. Yeah. I love these little things that I'm reading off of you. It's so funny. Even though for you it's probably delayed more than mine is. So I'm just trying to keep up. That's funny. But anyway, I digress. Like I said, this close, one person away. Which is funny, because we're also one person from getting this close. Or we're this close and we only need one person to start it, but we're also, if we're already there, it takes one person to end it. It's just now that I'm thinking about now that I've thought of that and I've just put it into words and I've just said it, I'm also realizing that is weird. That is really strange. That's the idea that I just came up with, and that those words sound, they're true. They're from my experience, or what I've seen, or what I've, philosophized, or whatever the fuck the word is. And now that that's dawned on me, it sounds so strange to say. We're this close from being united by one person, and we're one person away from having the world explode. Oh, and to back the one person away from having the world explode, think of whatever world leader has nuclear weapons. All it takes is for them to just go, yeah, I'm done with the world, and just press the red button, and the whole world's done. So that proves the one person away from completely dying part. Not just in a mental sense, but in a literal sense. One person, all they have to do is go, I'm going to press it, I'm going to press the button, and the whole world's fucked. We're all done, we're all dead. Everything's going to turn into white ash. Yay! I'm just going to silently shake my head no at that. I despise that, which sucks, because all it takes is for one world leader to get a little trigger happy, and he slips and stumbles and smacks his red button, and oh shit. But that's also like really hilarious to think about, that some person's like sitting in their office, minding their own damn business, and they just get a little too tired and fall asleep at the desk and accidentally smack the red button. Oh no! It's all coming to an end. I shouldn't joke about that. That's not funny. That's the end of humanity as we know it. Oh yeah, we'll joke about that all day long. All day long. Oh. Oh. Hi, Zach. Yeah, I name dropped you. You got doxxed. Eat shit, bro. No one's gonna know. No one's gonna know. No one's gonna care. Get doxxed, bitch. No one's gonna care. Huh. What now? Well, why do you have that? Oh. That's funny. And now you're just number one because you're the only one fucking here. Watch this, guys. I'm number one. Yeah, because you're the only dipshit that's sitting here. Ay, ay, ay. Exactly. See? Get doxxed. No, but on a serious note, um, it's it's something, man. It's really something. This video is now like 30 minutes long of just a straight me yapping. I wonder if it's gonna go like anywhere on YouTube, you know? After I finish this and just send it out, let it just sit on my fucking published page. I wonder how well it will do. Will other people come here and be like, yeah, this man's speaking true facts, or this dude's a fucking moron? Either or. I don't care, because I'm just here, man. I'm just here for the vibes. But seriously, though, realizing that I'm putting this on the internet for people to judge is kind of funny, considering that I don't care. But also, I could save someone's life without even knowing it. And there's a some ordinary gamers thing saying that we don't have much time. Nice. See what I mean? The world's coming to an end. There's so many people on YouTube that are like, it's over, we're done. The world's fucked. The internet is dead. Censorship is happening. It's all going to hell in a handbasket. And it's just like, oh, great. That's fantastic. I'm glad that, you know, the world's going to shit. Makes me happy because, you know, I haven't even been able to get to the point of being able to do world things. I haven't even gotten to the point to even get my life started, and the world's already ending. Nice. That's great. Thanks. Thanks you. Thank you, world, for combusting before I even get a chance to fucking exist. Yippee! We could make videos together. We absolutely could. What? I have no idea. Oh, there it goes again. Yeah, if you haven't noticed, I'm using my phone as like a flashlight to make sure that you can see me in the dark, because it's really dark, and my room is just pitch black, and I'm not letting you see what's behind me because it's a mess. So I turned my lights off, and I was just like, yeah, I'm just gonna have a phone camera light thing, makeshift thing, so that way you see my face, and that's about it. Um, anyway, so yeah, yeah, we're just here, alive, existing. It really sucks, you know, that half of us. No, I don't know about half. I don't know the actual percentage number. If you were to go, hey, where'd you get those numbers from? I'd be like, out of my asshole. I don't know. It's it's just so disheartening, really, to think about the fact that everyone is working. And when I say working, I mean like working as in like getting through life type working through the stages and whatnot. Um, by themselves, right? And they're not doing. Well, it's not that they're not doing it. They're trying to do their best, right? But they're struggling. Everyone's struggling, which is again sad to think about. But the fact that everyone is struggling kind of makes you realize that if everyone's struggling, why are we all bickering and fighting like a bunch of children against each other while we all struggle? It really makes you go, why are we doing that? And that brings us back to the whole human nature is inherently not good, because the reason why people struggle, right, and then don't go and help other people, and like everyone props each other up to make sure that no one goes under, is because people are selfish, right? So they might not be struggling at the time, but they might notice that someone's struggling, and they'll go, "That's too much work to help them. I'm not going to bother. Someone else will do it for me." The whole "someone else will do it for me" thing, or "someone else will do that." There's um, a scientific term for that, and that's a mental thing. Not a disorder, by the way. I'm just saying like a way of thinking, which sucks even more because that goes to prove my point that humans aren't good to begin with. Yippee! Fun. But anyway, uh, so yeah, everyone's struggling. Everyone wants someone to help them. No one's going to help them because they're going to think, because most people will think someone else is going to do that for that person if they're not struggling. And if they're not struggling, they might even have been raised incorrectly, so they'll just be a douche and go, well, they're struggling because they're retarded. Which some people have that mindset. I'm not joking. Someone, uh, and it's all down to emotional intelligence. Okay, and I'm going to explain that in vivid detail right now. Emotional intelligence is the ability to like think, but through emotions. If you get what I'm saying. So what I'm saying is, if someone is sad, a person with high emotional intelligence will not only be able to notice that that person's sad relatively easily by just analyzing their face, but also being able to like feel the energy from that person as if it was like an aura, so to speak. And people that have that ability to be able to do that, witnessing those kinds of people that are suffering makes them they basically feel the pain of that person. So take empathy, but on an extreme degree. They have a very high feeling of empathy, to the point to where you might as well just call it sympathy, because they're basically going through what that person's going through just by looking at them. Those people should be extremely cherished, because those people are the very backbone of like the mental health industry, or at least I would hope that they're in the mental health industry, like therapists and shit, because those people would be amazing to have as a therapist, because they would not only be able to listen and to understand the way you're feeling, but they'll feel it with you, if you get my drift. Then there's people that have low emotional intelligence, which don't feel that way at all. They basically don't really have a sense of empathy. Now, if you got to be careful when you're crossing that line there, because then you borderline what's called sociopathy, which means that they lack complete empathy. But these people, they have empathy. It's just not like up here. It's not at the max. It's near the bottom. It's not at zero, because if they were at zero, they'd be mentally ill. But they're like most things that normal people would empathize over, like, your mom dying and you're crying and being sad. These people will probably look at you and go, why are you crying? Move on. What the fuck are you sitting here crying for, bitch? Those people are the ones with low emotional intelligence. I like to call them emotionally illiterate, because they don't read the situation very well. They're not able to put two and two together that, oh, this person is feeling bad. Maybe I shouldn't tell them to man up, or maybe I shouldn't tell them to move on, or maybe I shouldn't tell them that they're being a bitch. Yeah, those people that do that, that someone's mom's died and they're crying in the corner, and the person that's like in your classroom that goes, why is that motherfucker crying, dude? Just move on, Life keeps going on. Those people are the ones that have like emotional intelligence. They're not dumb. Keep that in mind. They're not dumb. They may be smart, like school academic smart, and maybe IQ smart, to the point to where they're able to easily problem solve and shit. But this is something completely different. It is how they feel, the strength at which they feel others' emotions and their own. So you can assume if they're treating others that way, they probably feel the same. And if they don't, then that's something called a mask, which I can get into later. But actually, we'll just get right into it now. Jump head first into it like a cave diver. Okay. Masks and personas. Take notes, gentlemen and ladies, and whoever the fuck is looking at this dumb live stream. Take notes. This is important. So, masks. They are something that people wear, right, to hide what's going on beneath the surface. And most of the time, they can be both good and bad. Most of the time, they're bad, because it's like giving yourself a role that you have to play. And your mind doesn't like doing that. It likes being you, not some stupid character archetype that you're trying to fulfill, which is what a mask or a persona would be. So, with that in mind, there's people that like being the hero, people that like being an asshole, so on and so forth. But anyway, so people will act a specific way to come off a certain way, to make people perceive them a certain way, because they don't want them to perceive them literally. They don't want you to actually see who they are, what they do, and all that fun stuff. Which is why someone may act like cool and hipster at school, and then behind closed doors they're playing D&D and watching anime. It's two completely different people, right? One at school, one at home. Two completely different people. If you were to meet them out in public and you were meeting them out at school, they'd look completely different. That's the most exaggerated version of a mask. Um, Now it's very easy, well, to me at least, because I've had experience with it. It's like a hobby of mine to tear away at these masks. The downside is that people hate you for it because obviously they don't want people seeing what's underneath. So if you're poking at them in a specific manner to poke holes in their mask, they're going to hate you for it. Just saying. Um, it's easy to notice though. If you question specific things, question why they do things, and then all of a sudden they either stop answering or attack you directly or dodge the question, you've officially just questioned their ego or their mask that they're wearing. You've questioned the persona, and that makes them uncomfortable because that makes them realize you saw through it, and that vulnerability is something they don't want to express. So you might notice these on everyone. If you start realizing, if this is like opened your eyes, you'll start noticing it for everyone. And like I said, the masks are both a good thing and a bad thing. It's a good thing because people use them as shields to defend themselves from bad people, right? But wearing it too often, the mask becomes the person, and the person ceases to exist and just molds with the mask, which is when it becomes a very bad thing. Because then they'll play that role all the time. There won't be a sense of self anymore. It will just be the single role, and that will kill them on the inside. It's probably why people turn to that, if you know what I mean. I'm not going to say that word here because if I do say that, even with my small existence on the YouTube platform, I probably won't exist for long. So I won't say that, but it makes people turn to doing drastic things, so to speak, when their inner self is suffering. And sometimes you'll be able to see it physically on them, sometimes you won't. Most of the time you won't because they won't want you to, if that makes sense. But it's these kinds of people that I find interesting. The people that wear their masks or start to mold with them. I find them interesting because the effort that you have to go through to peel that off slowly gets excessively harder, but also because I have too much free time on my hands and I know way too much about psychology, so trying to pry them apart of that is kind of fun. And when you succeed, you basically just get the most loyal friend you could imagine, because when you finally succeed by peeling away the mask, you've basically convinced them to be vulnerable with you, which is what humanity's all about, baby. And absolutely, you can give me an example. Hit me with one now. Absolutely. Hit me with a example. And I'll be waiting patiently till I get one. I'm waiting. I'm absolutely waiting for that example. Do 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 do. Just smile and wave, boys. Smile and wave. Oh, you dumb What do you mean? What have I done? What am I doing? I haven't done anything, I swear. We'll take that back. It's a complete fucking lie. Yes, I will admit, it is me. I've done a lot of things. I would, I admit to that. It's 100% true. Um, and the fact that it is true goes to just prove all of my points. Every single one of them, that even I do it, goes to show you that what I was saying was true. Oh, Oh. Well, I am a living example, so fuck you. There's your example. Me. I'm the example. Anyway, going off of that though, off of me being an example, is the simple fact that I'm doing these things, right? To get to basically peel away the mask of other people. But doing so, I'm neglecting my own problems. Whoop-de-doo. Who would have thought? Genius. Help people solve their problems and ignore yours. Don't do this, by the way. Not a good idea. It leads you to what I like to call burnout. You should get used to that term. It's everywhere. So yeah, don't care too much about people's problems, but care enough to where if you are okay, help them with theirs. If you're not okay, worry about yourself, then help them with theirs. Seems normal? Good. And here's where I'm going to give you the best piece of advice about everything in moderation. Do absolutely everything in moderation. And that quote stands true for absolutely fucking everything because it says everything in the damn quote. The mask you're wearing, wear it in moderation. Defend yourself, yes, emotionally, but also take it off and be vulnerable with people because you need to, otherwise you're going to be alone, isolated, and completely sad. Let me repeat that. You will be alone, isolated, and completely sad. Am I heard? Are we clear? Yes? Good. Let's move on. So, that also applies to like eating food, exercising, taking naps, going to bed on time, showers, everything in moderation. You dumb fucks. I like how the funny like the food pyramid where like at the bottom it's carbs. No, it should all just be one long rectangle. Why do I say that? Because if you eat a ton of carbs, guess what happens? You bloat and you get fat. But the scientists said that it's one of the foods that I should consume the most. All of it one rectangle. Do it and see what happens. You might be healthier. I don't know. I really don't. I'm not a living, walking example. I just exist. I try and live, dude. I find what works. It's like a fucking puzzle piece. All right, I've put my puzzle together in the way that I think it's supposed to go, and I'm just rolling with it. Is it good? No, not all the time. At least it sucks sometimes. Does it work? Yes, I'm still living, so I'm doing something right. I don't know what I'm doing right, but I'm just gonna keep doing it because it's working. And if it ain't broken, don't fix it. If it works, it works. Hell yeah, brother. Hell yeah. It's really crazy how all this forms full circle. Um, but you know it does what it does, I guess. It's like a chessboard, You just keep moving pieces until you win the fucking game. I don't know, unless if you're a grandmaster, but no one's a grandmaster at life, so the chessboard is not a good example. Still though, I guess since this has been going on for like 40, almost an hour, by the way, of me just straight up yapping and ignoring all of the messages that are being thrown at my phone, because I'm pretty sure if I were to look right now, nope, never mind, I got nothing. See, I'm a fucking lonely bastard. I have no friend. I'm kidding. I was gonna be like, I have no friends. I have no family. I have none of them. I'm completely alone. I'm joking. It's not true. I have friends and family, and by friends I mean I have three of them. I have three friends, and my family I have them. Do I like my family a whole lot? No, not really. In fact, when I move out of my house and go be by myself, I probably won't contact them at all ever in my life. Why? Because it's a bit of a pain in the ass. It's a bit of a pain in the ass to deal with my family. Would I show up if they asked me to? Maybe. Maybe. Hard, maybe. Really hard, maybe. Really, really depends on the situation if I were to show up if they asked. Anyway, since I'm gonna cut this to an end, since it's almost at the 50-minute mark, and I think I've yapped for long enough for the world to realize what I'm doing, I'm gonna end it off with this. Okay, we're gonna basically a big review. All right, everything in moderation. Masks are both good and bad, so wear it with moderation. Um, for me to know and for you to find out. That's my take on that. For me to know and for you to find out. In fact, I'm going to make sure that I can do something with that, and it's called do that. That's gone. Why is that gone? Because I'm not leaving that on the internet. No one's going to know about that. Anyway, back to what I was saying. So, everything comes full circle. Big review, everything in moderation. Everyone's going through something, so try and not be a bitch to them because, they might not be a bitch to you if you were to actually take a moment and listen to think about what they're going through and try and think about how you would feel in that situation. Not many people are capable of it, so don't be surprised if you can't do it with everyone because, like I said, everyone's not capable of it in some capacity. There might be someone who is, someone who isn't, because everyone's different, right? Oh, that's the next message. Everyone is different. Everyone thinks differently. Everyone acts differently. Everyone sees things differently. All of those differences put together equals one really big, really good idea and one really big, really good society. So try and be cooperative with everyone. Even unless if they're not cooperative with you, then at that point you're wasting your time, so move on. But anyway, so yeah, everyone struggles. Try and be friends with everyone. Not literally in a sense, I mean just understand them. Everything in moderation. Try and keep living, keep going on, even though it sucks ass, because at some point it's going to get better. The whole reason we live is for happiness anyway, so chase happiness. I don't care what the fuck you do, just make sure you're happy while you're doing it. So go be happy. That should be your goal. Your goal shouldn't be, oh, I'm going to make millions of dollars. No. Your goal should just be, I'm going to be happy. That is my reason for living. I will go be happy. And that is one hell of an admirable goal. Because if you chase happiness, normally happiness leads to success, in a nutshell. Or, success in the sense of what I'm saying, not what you're saying, because success is relative. But anyway, I digress. Chase happiness, because normally happiness leads to success. To you, at least. You'll feel successful if you're happy, which is the whole point. So chase happiness. Go be happy. Go live the happiest life you can. And don't let anybody stop you. If anyone gets in your way, fucking bulldoze them. Run them over. Go be happy. You should be happy. Don't let anyone tell you different. I'll see you on the flip side, gentlemen. And ladies. Whoever's here. I'll see you on the flip side.